Here we go.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome, welcome. This is the first episode of 2021. Yay! Thank you all for joining us. This is Evelyn Joy Coker. I'm here with teen guest Sofia Paredes. Did I say it, Sofia?
Yeah.
Almost. And Alyssa Sherman. Hey, y'all. Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year.
How's everybody doing?
Tired.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, tired. Good to see you all. You all are beautiful. So, everybody was so ready to get into 2021. How do you all feel?
I'm excited.
Honestly, I'm kind of scared to say like this my year because everybody said that last year, and all that stuff happened. So
Yeah. A lot of people, so I saw, a bunch of memes and I can't like remember any of them, but everybody was just over 2020, whether it's the people who were saying like I hate it here or just everything. And we all can acknowledge obviously that we had a lot of challenges in 2020. But can you guys think of any areas in your life where you were stretched? So whether it was, a personality, attribute or some type of virtue, like, and I'm being funny by saying virtue, and I'm not trying to, of course, minimize anybody's growth, but like, can you think of an area that you grew over the past year, but only because of the conditions of the world?
I'll be honest. I don't think. Well, since quarantine started, I guess I was battling an addiction before quarantine started. So I would have to say, starting to get sober for me was a big stepping stone. And now I've been sober since about April.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so you feel like, kind of being in quarantine helped with that. Talk to, if you don't mind, can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because for so many people, the quarantine did the opposite. So I would love for you to share really, how it positively impacted that area of your life.
It actually all throughout March didn't help. I actually didn't start getting really sober up until about end of April. Um because I have really bad anxiety and depression, and my anxiety is so bad that I tend to hallucinate and hear like voices, not like schizophrenic, but like along the lines they don't want to diagnose me with that right away because it doesn't get in my way. um but it did make my paranoia a lot worse, and so I kind of went harder into what I was doing. And my parents just thought that, oh, she's just sleeping, she's just doing whatever. And we were still at school at the time. So I wasn't doing anything in my classes. I never logged on. It got really bad. Um and then I guess I was working at the time, so I guess that was kind of a good thing because I ran out of money, and I was like, well, I don't feel like getting a job. I don't feel like working right now. I'm gonna just lay down. And so I started sleeping more. Um, and I had lost a lot of weight because I wasn't eating, and I gained it all back because I was just laying in the house. I was just started eating again. Um, my depression and all that isn't any better. It kind of got worse, but now I'm able to say, when my friends come over, they're like, oh, let's go smoke or you want to have a drink, and I'm like, man, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need it anymore. Like, before, I was that person of the group, like, yeah, let's go smoke. Let's have a good time. Let's just chill. And they're like, yeah, we're down to chill, whatever. But now, I'm kind of just more mellowed out. And my friends are very supportive. They saw that I had a problem with other drugs other than, just weed and alcohol. They saw that I was doing other things, and they kind of were like, Sophie, I remember I gave one of my friends my money, and I was like, look, here's my money. I trust you. Hold on to this for me, please. Don't let me have any of it. If I say I need it for something, if I say I need it for gas, come with me to go get my gas because I don't trust myself. Can you please help me? And he was like, yeah, of course, dude. Like, I saw that you had a problem, and I was kind of like waiting for you to come up to me, but I was going to come up to you in about a day or so. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing pretty well. And he's like, yeah, I know. We know. And so my friends, they kind of just started talking to me more, and they're like, you know what, you don't need this. Before, you're just smoking, and, you weren't smoking like, we don't smoke all the time. And they were like, it's starting to become an everyday thing now. And, you don't talk to us anymore, and you're kind of just in your own little world. So we're kind of worried about you. You're not acting like you. But I think quarantine in a way made it worse before it got better.
Mm. But you have so much insight to be able to kind of, reflect and think about, okay, what periods were difficult for me, what was going on, and the fact that you sought help, even if it was from a peer. Like, I'm so proud of you
Thank
for, taking advantage of that. I'm really proud of you because a lot of people won't ask for help,
you.
and to do something that's so, different than what your peer group is doing. I'm just really proud of you, Sophia. Thanks for sharing that. I just want to take a moment to say hello, Naomi. Thank you so
Hey
much for
guys.
joining us. This
Hello.
is our featured teen guest. So, everybody that's here with us, just drop a nice little hello to Naomi. Let us know that you're here. Naomi, we were just talking about the new year and how we've grown given the circumstances of the world right now. So
Yes.
I'm gonna let Alyssa, tell us her reflections and how she's grown, and then after that, Naomi, will have you introduce yourself to everybody, tell us your story, and answer the question as well. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. So, Alyssa, how do you think you've grown, pretty much due to COVID and the conditions to keep us safe?
Um, Personally, I feel I kind of saw what I like. I think I'm more was before quarantine.
Can
Like,
you say that again? Your phone broke up just a little.
I think I'm more focused now. So like my goals and stuff. It's like I know God for it. Know how to get. I don't know for sure how to get there, but taking baby steps to get those goals and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think that it really kind of helped me did and make me want to work real hard. You know what I mean?
Okay. So it made you want to work harder, but it helps you kind of start to figure out kind of what you want.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want to talk to you guys about. So Naomi, I'm gonna let her do her own introduction. But one thing that I found very impressive is that she graduated early from high school, and this was her first semester at a college, and that takes a lot of discipline, to graduate early, and so. Naomi, I just want you to just introduce yourself to everybody, tell them a little bit about who you are, and then you can let us know how you think you may have grown this year due to COVID.
All right. Hey y'all. I'm Naomi and I'm 17. I did graduate a year early from Homewood Flossmoor, and that it took a lot of patience and hard work to graduate early. It was hard due to the circumstances with COVID when it came to college, like around August, trying to get into school with it being a year early. So it was already hard for me to like try to apply so late. So when I got into school, it took from COVID happening, it took a lot for me to try to do the Zoom sessions. It was hard, so I had to get used to it. So with COVID, it showed me what I was able to do and how hard it was gonna be, like trying to be more independent with school, not having a teacher like with me face to face. It showed me like I'm more of a learner that needs like to be shown step by step and not like over a Zoom call because I wasn't able to get the help that I needed 1-on-1. Um, and yeah, it taught me like what Alyssa said. It showed me like what I was able to do and not able to do due to the circumstances that we are in.
Mm. Yeah, and I know a lot of teens that I've talked to, and a few that I've worked with had a hard time transitioning to the remote learning. Um, and I think, the different school districts have tried their best to figure out, how to get students the different support that they need. But overall, acknowledging this is hard, for everybody. Um, so I can definitely see that being difficult, then doing your senior year where you're trying to transition to the next phase of your life, and you have all of this uncertainty. um Being an adult, that's been difficult, trying to navigate different things for myself, so I can only imagine. So do you all do like New Year's resolutions and stuff? Are you all into that?
Yeah.
I have done it before, but I didn't do any this year.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so Naomi has done it before but not this year. Alyssa, what were you saying?
Um, I have. I'm not good at sticking to it.
Me either.
Okay, so when can you remember first setting a goal, whether it was like a resolution or not? When can you remember what was your first goal in life?
Losing weight, honestly.
Losing weight. But how old were you when you made that goal?
I think I was like 10. I was really like I was like because I used to get bullied about it so much. So I used to diet, but I never really stuck to it. And I here I am, 17 years.
Sophia, what about you?
Um, I think around 10, I set in middle school. I set a goal to be able to get into performing arts high school and my freshman year, and I really worked hard at it. Um, and I got in, and then from there, I set a goal to get pieces on stage to make one big change in the school. and then to kind of just find my style in my major. And I would say I accomplished all three of those goals. So I was pretty happy with that. I gave up on the weight thing. That just wasn't gonna that just wasn't gonna happen. But I'm trying to start again this year. Um it just I lost that goal after I got injured my freshman year.
Okay.
I
Well, we're going to talk about when it gets kind of hard or when we reach a plateau. But first, Naomi, talk to us about the first time you can remember setting the goal.
First time I remember setting goals, I had two goals around 4 years ago in middle school. One of my goals was to go to high school with the swim team so I could be on the swim team. I wanted to get a scholarship for that. And the other one was graduate high school early. I've been wanting to graduate early. I know I didn't want to do a whole 4 years of high school because just seeing how much my mom and my auntie talked about school, like it's a long time for school and stuff like that. I knew I didn't want to be here for 4 years. So I did complete that goal of graduating early. And with the, I did get into a school with a swim team, but I never joined the swim team. So I kind of failed that goal.
Okay. So what can you all say influences the way you set goals?
Time.
Time. Talk about, so you mean how you didn't want to be in high school the whole time, so that influenced your
Oh,
goal.
no, like the time that I got into the high school with the swim team, then it was like I was new and I came in like the middle of the school year. So it was kind of hard trying to join teams and still catch up to all my work that I had missed out on and just trying to be so involved in everything and still being new. I feel like time was a factor that played in me not being able to join the swim team like I wanted to.
Okay. What about you, Sophia? What influences your goal setting?
I think parents affect my goal setting. Um I tend to like to prove people wrong. So my dad was like, "Oh, you're wasting your time with that. You should focus more on your academics. Just focus more. You need to learn your math. You should be a doctor. That's what you should go to school for. Be a doctor. Be something that's gonna actually take you somewhere than waste your time with this mess." Whereas my mom was like, be creative. Whatever you want. The world is yours. You can make it what you want to. And I think that relationship with my dad and always trying to prove him wrong is what kind of drove me to be like, look, I can do what I want to do. This is a career that I want to go for. Back then, I was like, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. I'm creative, and I know I am. And so this is what I'm going to do. And I did it.
Alyssa, what about you? Oh, we have a good comment. Let me read it here. The challenge is overcoming the unknown. We are more than our imagination. Thank you. Alyssa had the snaps there. Alyssa, so what about you?
I'm kind of in agreement with Sophia. Like that's Sophia. That's
Yeah.
Sophia. Agreeing with her. Like I think my family kind of had a big impact on like things I want to do or like goals I want to set because it's like I think my problem was for so long I try to like what's the word impress them and show them that I'm smart, I'm very educated, and I think now I'm at the point where it what what you feel for yourself is what matters. What you want to do for yourself is what matters more. And I used to let other people opinion to me. I still do, but I could say I'm better at it because at the end of the day, the amount of money that's in your pocket is the amount of money is in your pocket. You know what I mean? Depending on how you for what you want. And yeah, I always say most of those had a lot to do with my family, trying to impress them, trying to prove to them I'm more than what they say. And um other people's opinions and stuff. I like to prove people wrong. Honestly, I'm competitive.
So the reason why I wanted to ask you guys about your goal setting is because I remember, being a freshman in college, and all of you guys are either in college or on your way. And so many of my peers were pursuing majors that they weren't interested in, but that their parents told them, to major in. And so I just remember watching them struggle, whether it meant taking a whole bunch of science classes over or sitting through computer classes that they absolutely hated. And it began, us doing that has already began to shape the way we go about, pursuing goals. And I'm not talking about necessarily the mechanics of it. I'm talking about the mental aspect of it. You pursuing a goal to be a doctor, but that's not what you really want. So your love for dance or theater goes out the window because you're trying to, appease your parents and pursue this career. So then how do you deal with not being happy, feeling like you're not pursuing a passion, all of those types of things. So I've always wondered that about the different paths of young people behind me, because I can't say that I was made to major in something or not. I watched my mother my whole life as a social worker, and I was always so inspired by what she was doing. And when I went into social work, she said, Joy, you may not really want to do that, just knowing about the struggles that she had gone through, but she never told me, don't do that. So I had the freedom to pursue what I wanted. And I think just that power, that empowerment, um, makes your goal setting experience a bit different. So, would you all say that you are following your goals or goals that have been established for you?
I would say I'm following my goals.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I ever had that pressure to, like, no, my dad always tried to do that with me and was like, we're gonna stop paying for dance, we're gonna stop paying for all these things that we don't need. And my mom always, put him in check right away. She's like, no, this is not how we're gonna raise our kids. Whatever they want to do, they're gonna do. My sister right now actually wants to go with the National Guard, and my dad's like, she can't do that. She's too small. She's gonna get hurt. All this stuff is gonna happen. She's like, whatever she wants to do, man. We just gotta be there and make sure, she's gonna be okay. That she knows that we're gonna be here to support her, and if she decides that she doesn't want to, we're gonna be here to catch her. So my mom right now is making all of us go to the gym with my sister. Because my sister's like, my goal is to do a push up because she can't do a push up. So she's like, my goal is to do a push up by the end of this month. One push up. So we'll go to the gym with her, and we're all supportive. And the only person that is my dad, but I mean, even he is like, yeah, I have no say anymore. So whatever happens is gonna happen.
What about you, Naomi?
I believe I still make my own decisions and goals. I don't think nobody influenced them. Um, yeah, I don't believe nobody influenced them. Same with Sophia. Like my parents kind of know that I'm still gonna go with my own mind and decisions, whether they feel like they could stop me from doing it or not. I'm still gonna have my same mindset.
I right goals. Well, my goals are my goals. They're influenced by nobody else right now. honestly.
Nice. So how do you think you guys would, if you were mentoring, because now you all are college girls and you're mentoring high school girls, what would you suggest to them or tell them about how you prepare yourself to meet your goals?
Um, I prepare myself by telling myself I'm actually going to do it. So when the time came, I was already prepared to do what I had to do, which was early mornings, waking up early, just knowing what I needed to do so it could be done. So really reminding myself of what my goal was and telling myself that this is temporary. This is not going to be for a long time. I will meet my end goal with telling myself it was temporary and that I'm still going to get it done.
So you talking about when you set a goal and you've been working on it for a while and then you start to get kind of tired of the routine and you just remind yourself this is temporary. This is a short term inconvenience for this long term goal. Nice.
Yes.
Alyssa?
Some I realized I've been doing it for a long time. My biggest goal was to get into Howard University, and I did. And I think that had a lot to do with me manifesting it. Cause it's like I used to tell everybody I'm gonna get into Howard. I just know it. I know I'm going, and I got accepted. Honestly, part of me was still down myself because a lot of people told me I wasn't gonna get in, and I did. And it's the fact that like when you know it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And I think the best thing to do is manifest it. That'll be my biggest advice to those girls because don't let everybody else opinions or like their perceptions of you get to the best of you because you don't know. There's nothing in life is 100%. So the best you can do is try. I had no clue I was gonna get up in there, but I just knew. You know what I mean? You know how you just know something? I knew. So I say to manifest it and make sure you're doing everything you can to get to the goal. Like when I in the school over early, I used to go to school 5 o'clock in the morning. I sit in that lunchroom and I study and do all my homework because I couldn't do it at home. And I stay after school 30 because that's my dream school. And I just knew I was gonna get up and I had to do what I had to do.
Good.
Um, Unlike Naomi and Alyssa, I wasn't very academically involved. I'll be honest. I was like a DC student just because school didn't really interest me. But I mean, I'm not saying do the bare minimum. I did the bare minimum. Don't do that. I would say, I wish I would have done better in school. I still got into the college that I wanted to get to, and it's a private college, so um, I'm still proud of myself for that. But I would say for students who aren't really academically interested, I would say try to organize your things more or less like my freshman sophomore year when I was doing okay in my life. I would say organization was key for me, and that's when I had all A's and B's. I would say try to stay organized, and I would say focus more on academics because academics can get you far, but don't forget that like if you have like a school you want to get into, don't forget that schools also look at what you're doing outside of school because I would say me selling my own art, me having a job, still maintaining school, me being very creative, me putting more stuff out there than my peers were at the time is kind of what helped me to get into the school that I wanted to get into. They were more impressed with the fact that I was so young and, so ambitious. And I would say, keep up your ambitions, even though you may get tired. Just keep reminding yourself, I can do it. This is what I want to do. Like Naomi and Alyssa said, this is what I'm going to do, and I can do it. Who says I can't?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Cheyenne.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
It's the co-host with the most. Happy New Year, my love. How are you?
Happy New Year. I'm super annoyed. My iPhone crashed, so I might have to go to Apple. I don't know. So, but I'm here. That's all that matters.
Yes, we are so glad that you're here. It looks like Naomi dropped off a bit, but we were just talking about, goal setting and who influences our goals. So can you think about what your first goal was and who influenced it?
In general, or for 2021, 2020, or?
In general, the first time you remember ever setting a goal, what was it and who influenced it?
It's a good question, but I gotta think. My first ever goal was probably to make money because I've been working ever since I was 15, and then I saw how hard my parents were working. That motivated me to get a job and work.
Okay, so your parents influenced you.
Yes.
So we were talking about that influence, and I mentioned, being in college, and I have friends that were pursuing majors that they didn't want, and that their parents, so whether their parents wanted them to be a doctor or a computer engineer or a nurse or whatever, kind of like how parents influence. And, it wasn't meant to bash parents or anything like that. Like, as a parent, you want what you feel is best for your child. And so I was just hoping to kind of talk to you guys about, if that's your story, how you navigate, pursuing dreams and goals that someone else has set for you while also having your own. And so another influence, to goal setting that I've seen even in teens is, that whole superwoman syndrome. So, in the Black culture, we get that superwoman, and I would even say that it stretches across cultures. I'm just not in another culture to be able to speak about it. But, we grow up watching our moms, be, strong and, all of these things. And then, for many of us, we see our grandmothers was like that. And it's like, it's passed down that we have to be, strong, independent, self-sufficient, no matter what. And that's so harmful to our wellness. This idea that we have to be, everything to, everybody. And that can impact your goal setting too. So what I really wanted to talk to you guys today was about your mindsets, not actually, your goal, but how your mindset itself can influence your goal setting. And Alyssa said it, you got to manifest it. So first, in the name of this episode is Dare to Dream. Like, first, you all, I feel like, understand that you have a right to dream whatever you want. Whatever you want. I love that Cheyenne is an entrepreneur and she is making moves. You know what I mean? At 19. I know that Sofia, you have your own freelance work that you do, working towards your own business. And Alyssa, your nonprofit and everything that you want to do with your career as a lawyer. Like, I'm happy that you all know that you can dream. Then after you realize that that's your right, then that's when you manifest it. And I love that Alyssa, talked about that. You all have to, it's one thing to, that's why the grind that people talk about so much, I think is also dangerous, because I think a lot of people get into just the act of the grind. and not really having the persistence and the perseverance and just the drive to really, get what they want. They're just more so going through the motions because this is a culture of grinding. You know what I mean? And so, for Cheyenne, one thing that you missed, I asked them, do they do New Year's resolutions? And pretty much everybody said no. Either they have in the past, but they didn't yet this year, or no. And I don't either anymore. I just think about what I want to see manifest. And sometimes the things that I want to see manifest, I'm not seeing stuff in real time. I'm seeing it. This is what my overall thing that could be maybe 5-10 years down the line, but because I want what I want now, that's part of being a millennial. I want it now. I'm not trying to wait. And so sometimes things can look like failure along the way. But your mindset is going to control what you think about failure, if you even consider what you've gone through to be failure. And so one of my favorite quotes by Oprah is, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. And I love that because, okay, this may not have gone the way. You back with us, Naomi? Hey, girl.
Yes, I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi keeps jumping in and out. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm going to have to read you this quote. We're talking about mindset and how our mindset governs the way we go about goal setting. And I read a quote, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. And Oprah said that. So I just want you guys to kind of give me your reflections on what that means to you and how it does or does not kind of go with your mindset about your goals.
I agree, because with my goals, I had to tell myself that it was temporary, so I knew the mishaps. I was constantly late, and I knew that if I was like late with going to class, then there was a possibility I could get dropped from the class. So I knew that it was okay to fail, but not too many times. But I knew that it was going to take a little failure to get where I was going. I totally agree with this quote. It's okay to fail to get to where you have to go.
Yeah, what about somebody else?
I can go. I like your sequence, Evelyn, by the way.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah. So I was like, ooh, shiny. I actually like the Oprah quote. I remember I was in 6th grade and I couldn't remember some math concept, and I kept, failing some sort of assessment or quiz, and my math teacher told me, failure is a sign that you're learning. So don't beat yourself up. Eventually, yes, you have to grasp this concept and like master it, but you have to do it at your own pace. Not everybody's going to get everything on the first try. If you do, great. If you don't, keep working at it. So, I really like that Oprah quote.
Yeah.
I completely agree with this quote. I mean, for me, my main thing in high school was my dance and what impact I was going to make. And I would constantly get because I was the biggest girl in the class. No, one of the biggest. And they were like, I would hear little whispers because I was a freshman. And they were like, she can't do that. She can't get those turns. She's going to fall. She's top heavy. And I'm like, watch me work. Watch me work. I'm going to be here. I mean, I used to stay after school for like 2+ hours. And because I made it to dance ensemble, which was for the more advanced dancers, they would take on the extra dances of the show because it'd be like hour shows and you gotta run back, do your 30-second changes, run back on, get done. You got a minute and you gotta change again, go back on. And then I would hear she doesn't belong in dance ensemble just because she has extra experience. She doesn't belong in there. I'm like, well, then if that's the case, why aren't you here? It's like you gotta keep yourself motivated. Always remember that, you know, it's hard. It's going to be hard. But the more you fail, you have to look at your failures and you kind of be like, that's where I went wrong. Let's try this now. Or, oh, that didn't work out. Let's go this route. It's not just one single pathway. You got to look at every which way to get to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really agree with that. We have to mess up a couple times to get better. Like, I think a lot of our problem right now. I know my problem is. I read a quote on it. It was saying it's okay to rest, but don't give up. Like it's okay to if if something really bad happens, so whereas it really affected your goal, take a break, but don't stop doing it. Because I love the dance too, and I used to be on praise team, but somebody said my leader said something very disrespectful about me, and that really affected. Cause it really affected me because I looked up to her, and then it's the fact of every time we can practice or something, she was like the person who I really wanted to impress, and to have somebody downplay me like that really hurt it. So I stopped doing the dancing, and I never want to get on. My grandma never even knew why I didn't want to do it no more. That was the reason.
Oh.
And I think my problem was I quit instead of taking a little break and going. And I think your mindset have to be like that. It's okay to fail. It's okay to you get an F. It's okay. You can do better. It's plenty of other essays you gotta write. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think
That's good. We just got another quote. Well, comment. Redirect and refocus with your game plan moving forward. I like that. That whole concept of taking a break but not giving up. I love that, and I think that I hope that can definitely be a takeaway. For girls that are listening. I never even thought about it in that way because when you take a break, you're dealing with the mental and the emotional impact of it, and that's really all it is. If you don't address that, then fear and other types of emotions set in, and it can prevent you from doing something again, like Alyssa shared, that you love, that you want to do, but no longer did it because of whatever reason of whatever reason. So I want you guys to close your eyes. Yes, Cheyenne. You too, Naomi. Okay. And you all just think about who you are 5 years from now. What are you doing? What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you see and hear? What are you feeling? Who will you be in 5 years? Okay. So just being in a place to envision yourself 5 years from now, what type of feelings did that evoke for you? All of you are muted. So
It made me feel positive because in 5 years, I'll be like 24 years old.
don't you dare say you're going to be old, Cheyenne.
I said 24 years old, not just old.
Cheyenne is always calling herself old. So I say, well, if you old, what am I? And I'm not old, okay?
You're right. You're young. I'll be 24 years old. I saw myself in my second car. I saw myself in my house. I had on my white coat, black girl white coat, me being a doctor, or on my journey of being a doctor in med school. I saw me being really happy. So that's what I saw.
Good. What about somebody else?
Found myself anxious because in 5 years from now I'd be getting close
Um,
to graduating. So I started thinking about all the hard work and stuff that was going to be put in. And I see myself in my own house with a small family, not kids, but a husband, boyfriend type thing in my own house, graduating. So I was kind of anxious, but I was happy that the time was almost coming.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
well, like Cheyenne said, I'll be like around 24. So hopefully my goal is to be in my own house. Um, right now I'm taking a break from school so we can go back to on campus. So hopefully in school, because that's not something I want to just shy away from. So hopefully in school, or like hopefully Corona is gonna like die down and hopefully almost done with school. Um, I see myself getting my art business rolling. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, my dog is gonna be bigger. I just got a dog not so long ago, so that's my baby right now.
Okay.
Well, we gonna manifest it. So I see myself, being positive. I see myself still growing. I know I'm still probably be graduating at a college. Yeah, at a college. Yeah. And probably starting law school. And after that I see myself at my highest peak. Like you ever like think of your like I think what we have to do is have our highest self mindset to be able to get to that point. You gotta dress for the person you want to be, not who you are not in the stage that you are right now. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's how I look at it.
That's good. And so I wanted you guys to think about whatever you saw yourself as, taking that and one working backwards, right, with your goal setting. So you have to establish short and long term goals to get to that major thing. But I want your affirmations to speak to who you are 5 years from now. So, Cheyenne, I am a med school student. You know, Naomi, I have graduated with my degree in psychology, and now I'm in grad school for clinical psychology. You know, Sofia, say yours.
I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own house. I just want to be very independent. And one thing I didn't add on there
Bar.
was healthier.
So, yep, Alyssa got the point. So, I am an entrepreneur. I am a homeowner. Just say all of those things. Alyssa, let's get some of yours out.
I am a good lawyer. I am a non-for-profit organizer. What would I call myself? Yeah, I am that. Um, I'm
You're a makeup artist.
a makeup artist for sure. Makeup prodigy. Uh, yeah.
And so, does your mindset have to catch up with that? Or do you think you guys are on the right path with your mindset for who you are?
Well, some days are easier than others, and imposter syndrome. So I'd say like 80-20. But like, you have to keep that internal fire in you going, because once you manifest it, okay, you put it out into the air, you said it now. Now you have to believe and take the steps to execute it now. And some days are easier than others, but it will be done.
Yeah, you gotta keep your vibrations. Make sure that steady. You know, universe keep that.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a New Year's assignment. But before I tell you your assignment, I just want to know, is there anything that you guys would like to tell our Teen Girl listeners or our parents or other listeners about, helping a teen girl establish her goals and being, a champion of those goals?
I can go first. Don't be afraid to fail. Whether it's in school, in life, yourself, you're human, you're still learning, your brain is still developing. I know that a lot of people look up to me, especially like on social media, but remember, no one's really posting their failures. They're keeping that quiet. If I told you how many times I failed something and how many times I had to retake this class or redo this in order to get where I am today, you would be shocked. You would be like, that's Cheyenne. Yeah, that's me. So sometimes when we fail, we appreciate the process and our journey. We have more of appreciation because if you get something on the first try, yes, that's fine. But it's like, like it did it make you a better person? Like, did you how did you feel through that? So don't be afraid to fail. That's all I have to say.
I would say be patient. Patience is like key. I know me during high school, I was a wreck. I would say for our parents mainly, be patient. Your teen has so many emotions. A lot of teens are angry, and it's frustrating when you're a teen and you have high expectations for yourself and you feel a lot of pressure not only from what in the what is happening? Ah,
Oh,
but
you're fine.
that scared me. But be very patient. A lot of teens can be angry. I know I came home screaming sometimes because I was just so frustrated. But just remind your teen it's gonna be okay. It doesn't have to happen right now. These things take time. I'm always gonna be here to support you. Even if you decide you don't want to do this anymore, or your interests have changed, that's fine, but don't say you don't want to do this anymore just because it's too hard. Because if it's too hard, I'm gonna help you. Because I know my mom was like, "Now, are you quitting that because it's too hard, or just because you don't like it anymore?" I'm like, "Ma, it's too hard." She's like, "Get up, come on, let's go." And so, I would say that helped me a lot with reaching my goal. So always just try to be positive with your teen. I think parents can help a lot with your teens trying to, you know, ask your teen, what are your goals for this year? Don't feel like, what are you doing with your life? No, just say, what do you want to accomplish this year? What do you want to do? What can we do to get you there? And I think that would help a lot. I know it would have helped me.
Um, Personally, I feel like the process, like trust the process, trust yourself into taking. What's the word? It's okay to take baby steps. Like you don't have to take the whole step. Take is just as good as taking any. Like I really want to do a podcast. I want to do it on my birthday, but doing it with Miss Evelyn, it kind of it's a baby step, but it opened me up to it's you don't have to take the exact step. You have to take something to be able to think the type of step you want to take. If you understand what I'm saying. And I think what we talked about earlier is make sure you taking a rest and not giving up on yourself. Understand that you are always gonna have setbacks. Like one of my setbacks right now is that I might not be able to pay for Howard, and it's kind of determining if I'm even gonna go. But the fact that I manifested, the fact that I know it's gonna happen, I'm gonna go to Howard. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to get there because that's what I said I was gonna do, and it's gonna happen. So just trust the process, and there will be setbacks. Just don't let that make you give up and just take a rest.
Mm.
That's what I gotta say.
Naomi, we were just giving advice to teen girls about goal setting, and also if you have any insight for parents to help their teens with goal setting. I think Naomi froze, so I'm going to use a comment that we had. It was allow that criticism to be a question for you to ask yourself, how can this help me? And when you really examine it to discover your answers, thank them for teaching you how to realize who I am. We are in that moment in a good way. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And we had another question. How do you, oh, Alondra, they're giving you some love. Hello, Alondra said, yes, keep pushing and take breaks when needed. And she had asked earlier, how do you all stay balanced? And I think this is a great response, taking a break when you need to and, picking it back up when you're ready. And I think readiness is most important. So we're running out of time, and I'm going to give you guys, Alondra said hello back. I'm going to give you guys an assignment, and this is something you'll just have to reflect on. You guys know that I'm big in journaling, and I don't know, where you guys are with that, but I will say you should write yourself a letter. So your 5 year from now self, write your today self a letter encouraging you, telling you the things that you can do to help when things get hard. And, accountability outside of ourselves is always good, right? But it's always best when you have that intrinsic ability, to reflect and keep yourself accountable. And so this letter could be something that helps you guys. I did one, but mine is from next year to now. Okay, so your next letter is going to be
Did she just cut out?
I think so. But like she's still here. Maybe it's her Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Like her icon is still here, her name.
Right, right.
Mm. Okay. Well, until she comes back, what other reflections do you want to talk about? Or catch me up from the beginning since I came late.
She kind of gave you the overview. We mainly talked about like our goals and how who influenced them and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think that's it. That's a
Okay, so that was mainly it.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty caught up. I
Okay.
mean, you didn't as much. I was just
hello.
Hey.
Are we still live? Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, everybody. I had a technical difficulty. But yes, so you write that letter, okay, to yourself, and you encourage yourself because, like you all said, um, it's not necessarily a straight path. And we have to have the ability to withstand those challenges. We have to have the perseverance to keep going no matter how hard. And our mindset has so much to do with that. So put those mindset reminders even in your letter, to yourself, because what we think is going to dictate how we feel. And then that's going to dictate what we do. And we need to make sure that we are always doing something, towards our goals, unless we're taking a break. And it's okay to take a break. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. This has been the Get Lit Teen Table Talk podcast, episode 10. Or was it 9?
10.
9 or 10. But we have one more episode in our season. That's next week. If you haven't shared, please share. Find us on social media. Get Lit Teens. Also, Get on our website. Make sure you subscribe because this year we are launching our virtual hangouts, and we'll be doing that soon with the teen girls and the parents. But until we see you next week, have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. Bye.